Player's Pick podcast, picks and perspective with Chris Johnson. Palpable paradox.
Jed,
Chris,
I can hear you. I can see you.
now I can't see you. Now I can see you.
Oh, you got to look over here to see me.
Well, I've got my son's laptop, and the camera. I was just going to use the camera on it, and when I opened the camera, it was like whatever less than 480p is. It was atrocious. It was total pixel Jed. So we had a camera, so I just hooked it up, and that's why I was late, because I was trying to, video, audio settings.
You're good, man.
And I can't use my actual work computer because for whatever reason, Pro Tools won't allow me to, I can't listen to anything online. I can't use a media player. It's Pro Tools, and that's it. And I had some third-party software at some time that allowed me to, whatever it was, it bridged the gap somehow, and it worked, and it just stopped working, and I haven't been able to get it working again. So, yay.
Well, that's strangely a good feature, I imagine, for Pro Tools, right? They're probably like, no, you should not be paying attention to anything else but your music, bro. Stay here.
That was the idea, and then the Ethernet cable came downstairs, and all bets were off.
Yeah, anyway. I remember like 10 years ago, maybe more. Just remember going to a buddy's house that was doing production, and he's like, "In here, man, this computer is not even connected to the internet because all we do is work in here."
Yeah,
I'm like, oh man, that's serious. That's great.
That's so advanced.
Yeah, I'm so enamored with your ability to stay the course and not get distracted.
Oh, dude, it's so hard, man. It's so hard. It'd be like I'll be in the middle of a session, all of a sudden, and I'm like, I wonder what's happening on Facebook, and
no, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Yeah, I took Facebook off my phone, and I've been getting progressively better at not being, as enslaved to it as many of us are. But I mean, I'm still like, if I'm sitting down here, and I'm like getting burnt on a session or something, it's like 5 or 6 times a day I'll go back to it, and I'm like, it's such a habit.
Man, I'm impressed. 5 or 6 times a day is a minimal amount.
It's nice to see you. I wish I could look in here and see you.
No, it's good, man. We'll make the best of it, and it's cool. Yeah, it's good to see you too. I like the beard.
Oh, thanks. I'm just gonna move the camera closer to the laptop. So
perfect.
I just hope the lighting is appropriate.
No, you're looking good, man. I like.
Yeah,
the yellow.
I'm probably not the only one with a whatchamacallit, what is it? Isolation beard.
Yeah, mine was much bigger in the beginning, and then I finally got around to letting it go. And it was really about my hair. I let the hair grow out long enough because I'd get just very infrequent haircuts.
Yeah. Because
of not enough people being open. But now most things are open here. It's like, so
yeah.
Kind of do that stuff, but
yeah. Well, for me, I've never, in my 57 long years this weekend,
wow,
I've never had a beard. I've never grown facial hair apart from the this thing.
Yeah. And
so it's like kind of grows in 4 or 5 different directions, and I don't know how to take care of it, and it's all awkward and weird. But I'm staying the course, man. I'm gonna see it through.
You should, man. You never know what's on until you're on the other side of it, And
That's right. That's right.
There's a certain thing that comes with it. You kind of start doing this shit. You're like, well, tell me more about what you.
Oh yeah, and there's lots of material to play with here now. So.
Oh, I see. Is that a Washburn dime in the back there?
It is.
Yeah. Which one is that?
My friend Brandon Mikado.
Yeah.
In Lubbock. I think he lives in Lubbock. He builds guitars out of his garage for a hobby, and they're like top drawer. So I asked him to build me a 7-string baritone.
Oh shit!
So
bro, that is insane. So you have a Dime Stealth like custom?
Yeah.
Machado. Oh wow.
So look him up, Brandon Mikado. Mikado. I mean, it's nice work. It's
dude.
Quarter saw 9-piece. It's insane, bro. I almost like the back better. It looks really nice.
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool.
But it's like a trans white finish. A beautiful guitar. And I'm doing some tracking right now for a mutual friend of ours. And so this is the guitar that's doing it right now. So
Cool. Oh, I like those markers on the top. Are those wood markers on the top of the neck? Those the big long dashes there
where am I looking?
on the top of the neck, the fret markers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's the alternate wood there.
It's not wood. It's I don't know what it is. Whatever the binding material is on this guitar.
Oh, okay.
And because I showed him a couple of my other guitars that have this as well, and he's like, oh, he practiced it for a while and then he nailed it. It looks great. That's my move. I like that. I'm used to it. It's like I can see on stage.
Yeah.
You know, plus I wear these things now, so it's, you know, not that anybody's been on stage anytime recently.
Oh my God,
so.
right? We're all just hanging out at home, wishing for a different day.
Oh my God. I mean, I wasn't really that busy when it all started, but now it's just like, you know.
Yeah. Can you catch me up or catch us up? Like, I know, obviously, it was Scar the Martyr was a thing, and then that rolled into Vimic, or is that how I say it? Vimic?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And then the Vimic thing was on hold for a bit.
Yeah.
And I you know, is that still a thing or?
No, I don't think so. I mean, no. Straight answer is no.
Got it.
So for whatever reason, Scar the Martyr turned into Vimic. And I mean, Vimic we did a full album with Kato Kandwala, produce it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was 2014 or 15. And then we had a member change, and that created, because he was responsible for a lot of the music on that, there was whatever legalities. I'll just say legalities.
Sure.
And it held us up. Actually, it didn't hold me up. I didn't give a fuck, but it held up other folks who, you know, were in charge. And then I don't know what happened with the label and everything. And it just imploded. And then we found a way out of that mess. And there was other actual major labels that were interested in it. And we had excellent management. We had all the pieces were in place. And then some other things happened. I should be looking at the camera, and I just want to look at you because you're goddamn
good,
handsome.
You're good. No, it's likewise, man. I get it. You're so handsome. I want to look at you.
And then I'm not sure how to put this delicately, but it wasn't meant to be. How about that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There was some other things that reared their head, and it ultimately, in my opinion, destroyed the band. The one good thing I have to take away from that is that the guys, you know, and this is something that occurs to me every now and then, you know, the last 10 years of whatever I've been doing has been doing something that you wouldn't normally associate me doing, something like that. And I felt that way even a year after I first started. And I'm like, this, you know, but I can, you know, why do people call Jed? And I'm like, well, because they want Jed. And then I joined this band and like, do you want some fucking Jed or what? And then like, ding, 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 let's go on tour. And I'm like, okay, pay me, you know? And so we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I never got to contribute in that meaningful way that I would expect somebody. You want me in your band, I have a certain set of skills that are usually more abrasive than others. And I guess, I don't know. I mean, I definitely brought some leadership into it and the veteran sort of, you know, settle down, young fellow to some of the guys, but, or punching them right through their curtains in the bunk, you know, that night. Yeah. Hey man, pow.
Get up. It's time to go.
Old strapping style. But, you know, I met some really nice people in that group, and they're will be friends to me always. And so that's what I take away from it. I'm not happy that it ended, but in hindsight, it's not what I should have been doing anyway. I tried something different, and it broke me down and kind of hurt my confidence quite a bit, because I'm in unfamiliar territory doing things that I really don't know a lot about. And I can play 8-string guitar now.
Yes.
When I first said that to Jens, or maybe it was Frederick, I know they're like, welcome, you know.
You're in the club now, buddy.
Yeah, but I still don't really. I kept 1 8-string, and I like 7 strings now. I can actually play those, you know. And back in the strapping days, I pick up a 7 string, and I'm like, no, you know. And
right.
And Dev wrote a lot of the later stuff in 7, and so I just tuned my guitars down to match them and omit the high E or whatever it was in that tuning. That's how I got around that one. So yeah, so the whole Scar the Martyr of Mimic thing, it, it was a nice ride. And I got to do some things I hadn't done before, and I met some more people and saw a lot of friends and made some new friends. And so there's, I take the good stuff away from it, but it's really sad that it ended the way that it did, because the way that it happened, somebody needed help, and we wanted to help. I wanted to help, and it kind of backfired, and it just didn't go the way we wanted it to go. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's very cordial of you and very kind. I mean, I know nobody.
Well, they're human beings, they're fucking fragile, and I'm fragile too. But and that's again, I really got my confidence like knocked down doing that, because I'm like, this isn't what I should be doing. I should be going, and I wasn't. And I'm like, I don't know what to do here. Oh, here, let's talk to your image consultant. They'll tell you what to do. It's like,
oh shit. I got words for that image consultant.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I mean, so
sorry.
Kudos to you for trying something new, man, because oftentimes we pass on that stuff. We go, oh no, that's not my gig, that's not my jam. You young kids run off and do your thing or whatever. And but you pushed into it, and you got a couple little skills out of it.
I gave it 7 or 8 years, and then when that all ended, it was really shortly after that the DTB Devin band broke up, and so Ryan, their old drummer, called me, and he's like, hey man, starting a new band, you want in? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And he goes, we're going to be crushing and brutal. And so I'm like, let's go. And I don't know if you've heard A Monolith yet or heard anything done by them, but what you've heard is the reason I quit. 6 months into it, I'm like, I'm not doing this again. That's their version of crushing and brutal, not mine.
Got it. Yeah, I heard one tune, and I was like, okay, good. The guys are doing something.
Yeah. The sound, the production is all there. It's all the big sounds are there, but it's again, I'm not doing that again. And Byron too. Byron, he's like, no, bye, I'm out. So got it.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, because you guys, for you and Byron to like latch on to something quote unquote crushing and brutal. Yeah. It's like, where do you go from strapping young lad?
It's really it's a difficult task,
It's so difficult, bro. Working with Devin at all on anything, and then and being a part of his crushing and brutal and adding to that chorus, man, there's not much. I don't even know if it's possible to. I mean, I'm sure you could find something that was equal to it, but it would be difficult, but something to surpass it would
nothing
probably not happen.
No. Not and that's not to be egocentric about it, but I think strapping was a unique thing, and that particular band had some chemistry, and we certainly brought it, particularly on stage. And always be thankful and proud for all of that, because it's done so much for me, So thank you.
Yeah, I'm thankful that I got to see you guys probably 4 times on stage.
Yeah,
a couple times. Most of them were in Seattle, I think. At the old El Corazon, or what?
I was going to say El Corazon, or
yeah.
There was one other joint too that we played a lot down there. I can't think of what it was right now.
Studio 7 or the Showbox, maybe.
Showbox, I remember that one. Yeah.
You guys did a kind of like I'll forget the name of the festival, but you were there, and it was one of the more humorous times when listening to Dev talk shit between. I didn't know Dev then, so like I was definitely like, I thought I was a fan, but then I was watching that show. I was like, the music's fucking rad, and then I'm like, is this guy serious?
Yeah.
Or I don't know how to take him right now. Like, because if he's really a dick like this, I don't think I like him.
Yeah.
But it was like that, that thing that he had a hard time with, embodying. Something else that came alive in that band for him,
right? And that's how he dealt with it, and that was hard for even us on in the band sometimes. He'd rattle off into one of his now infamous vocabulary lessons, we'll say, and we'd be all like kind of walking towards the back of stage like, holy fuck, but again, as time went on and he became more comfortable in that particular skin, then we became comfortable with it too, and you could shed that sort of tough guy bravado metal bullshit that is so all over the place, and we all strutted around like we're the, the big cock in the fucking chicken pen. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, we're just, we like to smile. We like to have fun. And Dev made us laugh, and he kind of, in his own way, he brought us all together,
Sure did, man. He's brought me together, brought us, and a lot of people together in so many different ways through different projects, and just having any kind of connection to anything that he's doing. I mean, he sent me a little thing for these last these two new things. I don't know if he sent anything to you for that. Did you add something?
I'm working on it right now.
Sweet.
Yeah. It's taken me a long time, because it's taken me a long time, and I don't know if this can be shared right now or whatever, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. But again, with my confidence being like knocked down over the last few years, it's been really hard to feel good about doing something. Like he's like, and Dev's so chilled out, man. He's like, dude, just relax, take as long as you want. And and I'm just like sweating bullets over here trying to, bring your thing, but it's Dev. And it's like, oh my God, all these people. Oh fuck. So it gets into your mind, and he's done so well, and I'm so fucking proud of him. And he's just my friend, we went through the trenches together, so there shouldn't be any pressure, but I can't help it. I put the pressure on myself,
Dude, you're preaching to the choir here. I felt even more, maybe more so in a way, because it's not like I was ever in the band like touring and it got that type of relaxation where I could hone in the craft next to him. It's always been like, hey, I got this one event, like you can be there and do the thing, and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna shit my pants on stage, this is gonna be amazing, here we go. Totally. Okay, wearing a diaper, oh, diaper is full. Oh,
diaper's full. Glad I have Depends on over top.
Fuck. Yeah, so when he sent this thing out, I mean, he's announced both the projects now. So I mean, I'm
guessing what it is I'm doing is for one of those two things. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's probably Puzzle. Probably Puzzle or Snuggle. I don't Snuggles. He's recently posted about both of them that they're coming, but
okay.
So otherwise I wouldn't bring it up. But yeah, he sent those both out, and I was like, because I'd heard Snuggles in like maybe its 4th or 5th version, and I was like, damn, this is so epically cool, like especially because he was like, oh, it's all about this healing vibes, right, like and all these things, and I was like, oh, okay. So he's like, he knows I teach yoga and all this stuff, and so I sat around and smoked a couple of fatties and just like laid in my room and listened to that, and was like washed with the sounds, and then I didn't know that he was actually like asking me to like participate, and then he gets back to me later and he's like, are you gonna do something with this? I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I mean, okay, let me try this again, and so yeah, and so I found one little spot that I was like, what I loved about it was that he said, you don't have to, obviously, but if you choose not to, that's great, but it would be cool if you did something, because you're my buddy and like I want you a part of the project. I'm like,
how cool is that, right?
That means everything,
we've known each other a long time because of all of that, and so you're part of the family,
man, and hearing that and feeling that like still feels surreal to me in not when I'm in front of Dev, not when I'm hanging out with Dev, when we're together, when we're doing things over FaceTime or whatever. Like he makes me forget, and I'm so thankful that he makes me forget about how enamored I am with him, right. and then but when we have time apart and I think about it separately, it's hard for me to square it sometimes, and I think that's where I get. And then he sends a thing like this, and he's like, yeah, man, do whatever you want, but just make sure it's like it needs to be there. And I'm like, do I need to be anywhere on this? Like I'm like, it sounds so good. What do I need to do?
No pressure.
No pressure at all. And so I finally sent him something, and then he didn't have time to respond for a couple of days, and I totally didn't.
You'll be shitting your pants. I'd be like,
I sent it like 2 days go by, and I go, I sent him a text. I'm like, Please. I have to say, I'm super self-conscious right now about what I sent you, because you haven't said anything. Maybe I'm overthinking it. He's like, no, man, I haven't got to it. I'm so sorry. I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll let you know. And of course, you came back. Oh man, thankful. I chose. You're one of the guys because I chose you because you listen.
Yeah.
Everybody's listening and adding in a way that is, that is genuine, and
Mhm.
it's making the project great. He says,
Yeah.
so now I need you to do something else. And I'm like, oh. So he sent me another part. He's like, he's like, don't overthink it. Just jump in. What first thing that comes to your mind, do a thing,
Yeah.
send me the
Yeah.
stems, be done with it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
it is
cool.
what it
That's kind of what I'm doing too. And it's like, there's some chuggity chug stuff I got to do. And it's hard to really expand on that at all. So I'm going to do, he sent me a guide track to kind of follow, get an idea of what's happening. So I'm going to do that, but I'm going to just plug into just some super affected stereo madness and kind of just let it come out, and I think that might be more what he's sort of looking for, as you were just sort of mentioning,
Yeah.
I can't experiment too much with chugging. It's all going to sound like chug, 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 chug. And it's like, I need to do something else. I'm like, wah! With, 14 canyons of effect, it'll be great.
Yeah. That's one of the things I think that I look back and I praise Dev for, is that, and I don't know if I have a hard time believing he doesn't do it intentionally, but maybe he doesn't fully. But like, I know that, like when I went to London with him, he asked me to be a part of the acoustic record, and even knowing that I was a metal guy and wanted, like if I was going to do something, of course I would prefer to be chugging with him.
Right.
But at the same time, like I loved that he asked me like to do this delicate,
Mm-hmm.
soft, very spacious thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then our buddy Mark Cimino, he's
Hi,
like,
Mark.
hi
Love
Mark. I love Mark. He's more of the classic rock guy that's not metal dude, and he asked him to get on Addicted and learn these kind of more complex riffs. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting. Maybe there's some little piece of Dev that's kind of like, you know what, I'm going to give them this opposite thing to work on, and so that they can. I don't know if he means to make us grow, but that whole process made me grow.
Knowing Dev like we do, I think he probably just sees things in you that maybe you don't see immediately.
That's
He's
a good
got
point.
yeah, you can chug, but the guy's a softie too. So let's go for that.
You ain't wrong about that. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Yeah, man. Well, what do you are you like, you got all this gear and you had a studio there. Are you able to do some recording and some production stuff on your own, or?
I've started building it a couple of years ago, and I got some stuff, and I got guitars.
Oh man, those guitars.
Got the electronic drum set, and I got the fucking got the rack, the Fortin, and the Mesa, and
oh yeah,
some other stuff. So it's all happening, but again, with the whole confidence thing, it's been hard to kind of get everything up and going, and then and now with everybody at home, my wife is one floor above me and my son is 2 floors above that. And she's an executive, so she's doing meetings all day. So I've remained, it's like, even at the lowest volume down here, it's still too loud. So anyway, when Dev approached me, or when I was doing that project, I got one of those Box of Doom ISO cabs. I'm like, I should give that thing a whirl, because I was trying all the plugins, and I'm like, I can't. This isn't chug. I'm not getting any sounds. I want to bust out these amps that are sitting right in front of me. So, and 412 is obviously out of the question. 212, anything 12 is out of the question. So I've plugged in the ISO box, and it's working pretty well, but it's still a little bit rumbly. So I'm not a late night guy. I haven't been I never really have been, except back in those days. Early morning is when I chug best. So I'm going to resign myself to weekends to really do anything with any practical volume.
I see.
And usually, when life is normal and wife's at work and son is at school, the house is.
Yeah.
So we just got to wait for that. And, I've been working on, Zimmer's Hole is one of my oldest bands, and I can't believe we're still together. I guess we like each other. So, we're doing another record at some point. I'm working on another Tenet style record. That was my solo thing I did back in 2009. So I'm back to the heavies,
Cool.
And I want to play some like really brutal death metal or something. Like that's what I like you to do, you know. So I'm hoping maybe there's a band out there that needs somebody. I don't really feel like forming bands and going through all of that again. I'm kind of past it unless something just falls into my lap. But you know, at my age, I don't anticipate it. But we'll see what happens. My favorite band on earth is Christian from Brazil.
Oh yeah.
And they're the sweetest guys, and they just write the most aggressive music. And when Vimic was down there touring a couple of years ago, I took off and went out to their house and spent a day and a night with them and just hung out, and we just bonded so well. I just love their music. I've been bugging them like, I'm going to join your band. I'm going to join your band. It's like three brothers, and that's it. And there's no way in. You should check them out. They're like the Van Halen of death metal, man. They're just like super tight and super perfect, and it's just like.
Is that Christian with a K?
Yeah, Krisiun. Wow, great spelling. Yeah,
I knew it was a funky spelling because I've definitely heard them in the past, but not recently.
Yeah, they are so good, man. I mean, I just love them. I love them like, oh man. Anyway, yeah, they're amazing.
So yeah, everybody out there, who's got the good death metal for Jed? Come on, bring it. we got it. We got an incredible rhythm ripper right here. We need to like utilize him.
Yeah, I want to play hard again before my muscles go this way. You know?
Yeah, amen to that, dude. I know it's like there's only so much time left in these skin bags. We got to get it out.
We got to maximize it. It's been, like I said, it's been difficult, you know, and you know, confidence and bands and doing different things, trying, you know, it can really beat you down. And then you got, you know, this pandemic thing on top of it. It's got to be hurting a lot of people, you know, and mental health is a real thing right now, you know.
Oh man.
I certainly feel it. And I'm lucky that, you know, we're tight as a family and everything, but you hear things that aren't good and people are breaking down, and it's sad, man.
Well, I'm also personally experiencing the effects of that too. And this is the thing that I'm finding is that you know, I'm usually the person that people are coming to and saying, hey man, like, can we talk? Like, I just need to get some stuff off, you know? And I'm like, I'm a yoga teacher. Like, I'm always kind of like, I have a little bit of advice, you know, cause I got a daily practice and it helps quell my regular anxieties and fears about life and help me to accept them. But this prolonged state, it's like if you can do well for a week or 2 weeks or even a month, but then you're still here, you're still doing the thing. And I think that it's finally, I mean, there's just so much residual like buildup that it's finally coming to a head for a lot of people. And I wonder about, you know, for yourself, like, have you found it difficult to like talk about like the challenging parts about this with friends or family, or has it been an open conversation?
Not really, because I mean, it's an open conversation with my wife. You know, she's in the healthcare industry. She knows about this kind of stuff. And, you know, again, one of the reasons we're talking today is because I commented on a post of yours I saw not like a week ago or something. Right. And you're talking about depression and stuff. And I mean, that's real for me. And it's been real for me for a long time. And I've been talking about getting some help and wanting help. And, you know, I'm reasonably well adjusted and I can carry on when I have to, you know, but with this extra set of circumstances on top of everything else, it's become difficult, you know, and that's what I picked up from your message that I saw. And I'm like, you know, I hate to be a relator, but I can relate, you know, and these things are real. And for people that maybe aren't as comfortable or as tight in their families, this can become a serious issue, I think. And I think that people need to really evaluate their mental health and get help. You know?
Yeah, I find myself in a similar place where it's, you know, I find I'm pretty reasonably adjusted. I'm pretty good. Like I can get through a lot. I can stack a lot. I can take a lot. And then I break. You know, and then it's like then I'm out for a day, sometimes two. You know, I usually don't stay down for too long, but like it's like I have to hide out, like shut the blinds and wallow in it a bit. Like I hate that that's the case, and I hate that I hate personally, I hate having other people concerned about me in that way. Cause I'm like, oh, I'm going to be okay. You know, I'm fine. I don't have any disillusions around, the need, you know, I don't feel like I need to be happy all the time. I don't feel like it all has to be up and not down. Like I'm, you know, life is such, but
Yeah.
this has definitely been more challenging than regular life. And I think that that's the thing that, like, you know, to remind myself of, and my friends keep reminding me, like, hey man, you can only take so much, and then you're going to have to take a long nap, you know, and wake up and go do something else and be easy with yourself. Because it's one of the things that's interesting is that I know that a lot of busy people, including myself prior to the pandemic, very busy people, when this all stopped, everything ground to a halt. But then all of a sudden, we're busier than we were before. A lot of us, you know, like I talked to Devin, he's like, man, I'm actually strangely busier than, but I'm doing it from home, I'm doing most of it, you know, like there's this compensation factor. But now if it wasn't before, now your personal life and your professional life are just completely intermixed, and you're going from one personal call to a business call to a back and forth. Right. So it's a lot to handle.
There's a lot to juggle too. And all from within a, you know, depending on your situation, a very small space, you know? Tough potatoes for sure for lots of folks. And I've started to feel the pressure lately, and you know, compounded with, you know, whatever else is happening, you know, mentally, it can turn into a giant wave that one day you're like, fuck yeah, we're grilling out in the snow, and the next day I'm like, I'm going to bed at 6 p.m. and I'm going to sleep all day tomorrow, and I'm not getting up or coming out until I start to crest the wave again, you know. And it's like this all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And it's cumbersome.
Yeah, at best. That's definitely, that describes pretty accurately what I experienced.
And then there's this shit, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, to jump back, you mentioned Zimmer's Hole. I was going to ask you about Zimmer's Hole, and I'm glad to hear that that's still a thing that's happening for you. And
I don't think it'll never not happen. You know, I've wanted to fold the band at numerous times, and my wife is like, don't do it or I'm going to divorce you. You know, it's not that serious. She loves the band, and she's right there to like, no, you're not doing it. You know, it's become a lot more difficult because that band was, or like a band of brothers, and we rehearsed, we all lived close to each other, and the rehearsal studio was, you know, half a block up the street, and we rehearsed every day at 7:06, which is 66 minutes after 6.
Yes.
And you get together in the room, and, you know, you drink and you smoke and you just, and it all comes out. And now, you know, I moved away first, so I guess, you know, I gotta take some of the heat for that. But it's so much more difficult now because I'm here by myself, and I can't go, and I'm like, there's nobody to go wow with, you know?
Right.
And being, you know, I write a lot of the shit, and it's you know, like our last record, I wrote it pretty much by myself in our last house, and I'm really proud of that record because it's really, I think it's really well done. It's produced well. You know, we had Gene on drums. It's a killer album. But it's not, doesn't really capture the Zimmer's Hole vibe. You know what I mean? And so that's what we're trying to, you know, do, is just kind of bring that fun thing back. And Gene stepped away, and we have Ash Pearson from Revocation playing drums for us now. And Ash, you know, Revocation's up in Boston, I think. So he comes whenever he was out there, he'd just come down here and stay with us. And that's why I bought the electronic drums. That was for him. And, you know, we just play here. So it's, you know, Zimmer's Hole is coming along. It's just hard. It's a hard band to do that with on your own, because there's so much is dependent upon that everybody being together and just goofing off of each other, or, you know, something you would think is ridiculous, and somebody's like, that's hilarious, or that's brutal. And so when you have to do a lot of it yourself, it tends to become too serious. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I feel for that in a big way. I mean, my last band was done in around about 2008. And that's the one thing that I have I will always miss is the there's a part of it that I don't like, right? Being beholden to the band all the time becomes a thing. But in in retrospect, like you put up with all the shit so that you can, for that, hour or two in the studio smoking and drinking and going, right? Like, because that's, there's nothing quite like it. And the synergy that happens in the room when you go, check it out, new riff, ready, go. And everybody locks into it. They hear you, they feel you, and then it naturally mutates as you're playing. And you would have never mutated that way if you were by yourself in a room.
Exactly.
Do it.
No, and I've always been a really big drum programmer. I love program drums. I'm fucking sick of it now. And so that instantaneous sort of thing is gone. And, I can't, oh fuck, try it this way. And I'm like, beep, 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 beep. It's like, fuck, I'd just rather be with somebody who could just like change the beat and like, it's like you say, 1, 2, 3, go. And then it goes this way and it goes that way. And it just happens naturally. Not like, hey, I got an idea. And then I'm like,
right,
I forgot what I was doing. Oops. Hello, family. But it's frustrating not to just have that natural gas,
Yeah, that's honestly that's been why I've not been writing as much heavy stuff, because when I go to write heavy riffs, it's hard for me to finish songs because I want to finish them with other people that are badass.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to be responsible for all of it, man. Come on.
Yeah. It's a group effort, man.
Don't put it on me, man. Yeah, it's like which also then heightens my respect for someone like Devin and other great people that are able to write so completely in the box on their own, and then incorporate other people into the project and let that project get wider and deeper because of the people that he brings in, because they add their own flavor to the stuff. But to even get to that point where, I've got like 3 records sitting on the shelf that are basically done, I'm like, oh my God, you beast.
It's insane. It's insane. It's an amazing thing. It really is. I'm proud of him. I'm proud that he's become the person that he has.
The world needs him,
Yeah, we do. Sure, we do.
More now than ever, and I love how he's pivoted. I think he's always been pretty lovey, pretty squishy in the middle. But it's like I love how more, the last 10 years, it's just gotten more present and more on the forefront of everything.
That was the last show we saw, was when he was in here in Philadelphia. I think early last March, right before they shut everything down.
Oh, that's right.
And I went up and played Love with them on stage, and it was Morgan on drums. He had all-star band, and I was like super nerve-wracked. He's like, dude, just go out there and play. I left my glasses on. I didn't change into any rock clothes. I just walked out, played the song, and it was so awesome. It was so awesome. And I think that's kind of his vibe now. It's just like, just be yourself, just chill, just do your thing and don't be pretentious. There's no need to be pretentious. There never was, but it finds its way into everything,
Yeah. In that way, he's such a great example and a teacher, whether he means for it to be that way or not. Like, he definitely, the world needs people with big brains and big hearts like him that just turn around and go, it's okay. Just be, I want you to be who you are. You don't have to be anybody for me. Yeah. Like, you're super unique and doing your own thing and saying you have your own style. And I called on you because it's you. I didn't call on you because I wanted another version of me.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, man.
There you go. Yeah, totally, dude.
Sphincter releases a little bit. I'm not saying that. It's a little bit of that vibe, but how is Philly? How are things out there? Are you guys still pretty locked down or kind of in between now?
No, we've been fairly locked down for forever. They just started talking about allowing people back into restaurants, I think on a fairly small percentage, like 10 or 20%, but whatever. But sure. My wife just got her vaccine Tuesday. So she's very excited. I'm very excited and relieved. She's already scheduled for a second one. I'm in the last group because I'm okay. I guess
Sure.
like health wise, there's no issues, so I'm the last in line. But I'll be the first in line when it's my turn. Everything's fine, you know. I don't know. I keep saying I just look forward to being able to go out and have a nice meal at a restaurant. You know, we try to support. You know, we live in the city, but we're on the very outskirts of the city. And there's so much good food in Philly. I know every city says that, but fuck you, we're best. And so we try to support our neighborhood restaurants and stores and stuff. That's what we've been trying to do in the way of kind of keeping things going. There's so many, again, people are suffering, people are losing everything, you know.
Yeah.
It's fuck, I'm over it. So is everybody else, I'm sure. But
yeah, and it's kind of like one of those scenarios where I know that everybody has kind of been over it for a while and kind of ready to jump back, and there's probably an inclination. I know it is definitely out here in Cali, like it's divided. You know, you have people on one side that never really believed much of this was real, or you know, didn't, you know, whatever. I don't want to like. It's so strange, you know, because some of them are Trumpers, some of them aren't. Some of, you know, it's a weird mix of people that just and I'm somewhere in between. You know, I'm like, hey, like I'm wanting to be really safe, but I'm also can't not live my life because I will go crazy.
Yep.
And so thankfully I'm back up here in Chico. I'm not in LA. When this all hit, I was in LA, and I quickly saw, okay, this isn't ending soon. So I'm going to go home and see how that works. And everybody's spread out more here. So there's more nature to get out to. You don't have to like feel claustrophobic so much. But
that's one thing I'm thankful for too. Living, like I said, we live on the edge of the city. We have a house and a yard and, you know, a place to park.
Yeah.
And we're surrounded by Fairmount Park, which I think is the largest city park in the country or something like that. So we have that too. We have some nature, you know, and we can walk a block and be down by the creek, or, you know, in the woods, or, you know, but then again, I can turn around and go across the other street and get the best cheesesteak in the world, you know. So
yeah,
we got the bases covered. It's nice to have a little bit of openness again, and that's, you know, where the isolation thing comes into play. It's like I feel particularly bad for, you know, say a larger family in a smaller space. That's gonna make things get volatile quicker. You know?
Right. Yeah, I've heard that the, you know, domestic violence has gone way up during this time, and then, you know, addictions have increased. Obviously, suicide rates have increased.
All those things, you know, referencing what we talked about a little bit ago. You know, it's like all those things are culminating in bad things.
It kind of point. Get help is right, and it just points to, for me, even seeing the little slivers of that stuff in me as I work through the challenges, I go, oh wow, like I'm so well supported, and I have very little to like really complain about ultimately, but yet I'm having to like do extra steps to like take care of myself. Now, if I were somebody with a lot less of a daily practice, or, you know, any lesser you know, privileged situation, this would be a 10,000 times tougher.
Your breaking point may well be behind you.
Yeah, could have been broken already, you know.
It's fuck, man.
Yeah, heart goes out too.
I don't even know how to put it into words, you know. It's just tough.
Yeah, it sure is. It's what was that restaurant though that you took? You were speaking of your best restaurants. When I was out there in Philly, you took me. Was it an Italian place that we went to?
No, I think I was telling my wife. She goes, I don't remember. I'm like, what? It was Han Dynasty.
Yeah, that's a Chinese place.
Asian fusion. It's such a killer restaurant.
That was so good. It was kind of down by the water a little bit, I think.
Yeah, we have one right out here in our neighborhood too. We order from there frequently. I have my favorite dish they have is it's like a cold noodle in a chili oil sauce, and it doesn't sound like very much, but oh my god, you know,
Dude, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
I love a cold noodle. Weirdly enough, I love a cold noodle. It's strange.
Yeah.
Like I even like cold spaghetti. Just like I'm a weird person. I will go and eat like without the sauce, you know. But
Wow.
but I prefer like a really good professional cold noodle dish, like the Vietnamese style, you know, cold noodle. Forget what they call them, but
I'd never experienced anything like that, and I'm not a big, just Asian food in general is not really not my flavor profile, but and the cold noodle thing, I'm like, ugh. But yeah, it was my wife's like, come on, just put it in your face. I know you like spice, and you know, after that it was game over. So
it won you over, man. That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And well, so I mean, I'm curious about what maybe you had been doing during this time. Like, is there something that you've been able to do to counteract your dips, and or is what is working for you? You know?
Not much really. I mean, for me, you know, and it sounds sort of generic, but trying to keep busy, really. And it doesn't, you know, and music is not what keeps me busy, and it hasn't been for a few years now. You know, I'm essentially a stay-at-home dad, right? So I have duties to fulfill happily, you know, so that I have a routine that I got to do every day. I feed them both, get them to work and off to school, and reverse, make dinner, and, you know, put the house, you know, and then my wife, I go to bed early, and, you know, and then she'll take over sort of like the night shift, and then I get up and take over the morning shift. And now with isolation, you know, we just get up and just go for it. And so I just try to continue doing what I'm doing. I make sure the house is quiet and clean, for the most part. You know, make food, I know I'm the one who does all the outwardly stuff like grocery shopping and any errands. And that's essentially what I build my day upon. So when I'm feeling down, a lot of the time I don't have time to feel down because I got to get other stuff done. And sometimes at the end of it all, when I have time to think about being down, I feel a little bit more down because I didn't have time to do things that I'd really like to do.
Sure.
You know, and those things have been compounding themselves a little, but you know, luckily my peaks and valleys aren't so drastic that I'm not sure where I'm going with that, but it's like I've been able to find a sort of, you know, subtle flow, but I still dip really, really hard. And it's really concerning. And, you know, again, and I don't want to put anything on the Vimic and the monolith stuff. I mean, again, that really knocked me down, and I fell out of love with guitar for a while. And so it's only been in the last little while that I've started to like, I dig this thing again, you know? So, you know, I got all this stuff that I always wanted when I was a kid. So what the fuck, right?
Dude,
Get to work. You know?
I go through that all the time. That's when I'm feeling down or uninspired, I'm like, I walk in here and I look at the studio and I'm like, you dreamt of having custom guitars made for you, you know, for years, man. And now that happens on the regular for you. So, and you don't even have to be in a signed band. What's your deal? Play guitar.
Yeah.
Shut up, play your guitar. Zappa told you back in the day, shut up and play your guitar. Get to it. Guitar. And you know, and then I do my best to kind of invoke my favorites, you know, Devin and different people that I think I'm like, okay, what would they say? They'd you know, like, don't worry about the technicality of it. Don't worry about, just be yourself and just make something that's interesting to you, you know? And so, you know, I've been doing different things. I've been doing a hip hop project. I've been doing, you know, because I have a bunch of friends that are from high school that are around here, and they're all into hip hop, and they come over like, help us make a beat, and I'm like, oh shit, well, let's do so. You guys are excited, let's do it.
Yeah,
you know,
we can do that. Let's do it.
Yeah, right? I got so many things. Like you'll help me make my gear work, so let's do that. Let's use my gear, and then I fell kind of strangely in love with it all over again. I was like, oh, you know, I forgot that I liked writing like poetry and lyrics and stuff, and and I've just been scared. I've been scared of like what people would think, or what, you know, putting myself out there. When you use your voice as the thing, sometimes it's like that much more of a a level of vulnerability if you're not used to it. If you're just hiding behind the guitar and you're like, oh, I got my chunky riffs.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. It's your crutch.
Yeah. So
I've had that same sort of thing too. Not with friends, but with our son, he'll be 14 this year. He's shown an interest in music, and he's up there on his computer with building levels for one of his favorite games and stuff. He's right into creating and making YouTube videos of him creating and using the Filmora, which is video software. But anyways, he's like, I want to write a song. So I started showing him how to work Pro Tools, and he's getting better at it than me because he remembers things so quickly. And his latest thing is he's really into sort of like I don't know, aggressive techno. I don't know what the terms are. I sound like my parents now. I don't know what the kids call these things.
EDM of some kind, electronic dance.
Yeah, music. EDM is, but he's on the autism spectrum, right? So we're pretty sure he's got perfect pitch. And one of the examples is about 8 years ago. I was vacuuming, and I heard this weird noise, and I'm like, "What is that?" And I turned off the vacuum, and it was Eddie. He's humming. He's like, and he's trying to match. He was resonating with the vacuum. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Dad, that vacuum's a bee." I'm like, "What?" And so that was the first time. And then that we got him into piano, and he's just soaked all that up. Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is he really knows music instinctively. And so he's got these songs that he likes, these EDM, EBR kids these days. Yeah. But he knows he can figure out what a key is. He knows what I can play anything, any note on anything, even if it's like a toaster wire. He'd be like, "Oh, that's a C or an F or an A sharp, whatever." But he can pick out the key, and he's really good at picking out BPMs. And so he'll bring down two different songs, and in Pro Tools he'll put them together and make his own mashups. And then he'll do all the editing and all the crossfades by himself and make these 1 song mashups. And
wow,
a few of them are like jaw-droppingly good. But he's like, if I say anything about sharing it, he's just like, no. But,
oh, interesting.
So that's been a good thing that's been happening here. He's, if nothing else, I got, here's all this stuff, kid. Go and do your thing with it.
Interesting. I wonder what it would be like for if you guys could collaborate at some point.
Well, he wants to, and he actually wrote a rock song called "Wanted Man," and he goes, "Dad, I want it to go like this." So I'm like, "All right, let's go fire up Pro Tools." And he's like, "Okay, it has to be this BPM. And here's how I want the drums to go." So I programmed out a drum beat. And he goes, "And this is how the guitars." So he wrote the song, but he didn't do any physical writing. He just told me what to do, and I did it. Mm-hmm. And we wrote this song, and it's a great, catchy little rock song. I'm like, oh my God. So there's a feature for him in that if he wants it. And I'd love to collaborate with it. He goes, I could probably help you write some Zimmer's Hall songs. And I'm like, what? We could probably use some youth,
Oh yeah, that would be so cool.
Some of that good old fashioned toilet humor, which he excels at.
Oh
so
man,
I'll utilize those skills. But it's nice when you have people around you, like you're saying, to kind of come in and
yes, and
say, even if you're not doing what you want to do, and you're doing what they want to do, and it kind of brings back some of that interest or enjoyment.
And it can turn into what you want to do, like you're like, oh well, I like you, and ultimately, I think what really also too what I recognize is that some people just come into your life and show you what they're doing, and you're like, oh, interesting. Like I had forgot or didn't realize that was possible, but you give me an idea of how I would do it. Like if I now that I see you doing it, I would do it, but just a couple degrees this way. Yeah. And that's really what happened. I mean, I'm still like collaborating with my buddies that kind of inspired me, but more so now I'm like, hey, come over and just hang out and listen to my demo.
Yeah.
And just shoot ideas at me about like this intro, this outro, or the concept, and shoot down the crappy parts that you think are crappy, or whatever. And
honesty.
I love that. And I love, that my buddy Don comes over and it's like, I'm like, man, just hang out and listen. Just like, this is what this is about. What would, what would you like, what comes up for you? And he's like, oh man, like you need a sample right there. And you maybe a thing there. And
Yeah.
I would change this. And I'm like, that's like being in a band. That's like what
Yeah.
I miss about being in the band. It's like,
Yeah.
kind of almost like going, hey, is this cool? And everybody's like, fuck yeah, that's cool. Okay, cool. And you're like, here's this part two. And they're like, and that sucks. So
Yeah.
don't ever play that again. It's lame.
Yeah.
And you're like,
And it all happens like that, right?
so fast,
Yeah.
right? You're like immediately, okay, that was not a good reaction. Okay, we're
Yeah.
never playing that riff again.
Yeah.
Next.
That's what I miss. You know, you don't have
Yeah.
that. You're sitting here, you're like, oh, this is cool. You know?
Yeah. That feedback, man. I think that mirroring is, I mean, it's essential to our growth as young people too. It's why school is important, right? It's why the social aspect of life is so important.
That's another thing. Yeah, that whole social thing it's you know, I found myself regressing. I was out grocery shopping. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I was out grocery shopping yesterday, and I ran into one of our neighborhood friends in the grocery store. He's out shopping with his daughter, and, you know, just small talk. We're good friends. We drink and get dumb together when times are not like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself feeling awkward in the grocery store, like socially, like I'm regressing because I don't know what to say to a guy I've known for years, you know. And I think kids in particular are really suffering. I know our boys, particularly being on the spectrum, you know, he's like, Dad, I really want to go back to school. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. You know, it's you regress socially, and that's not good.
Yeah. My brother has a 8-year-old that is nonverbal on the spectrum.
Oof.
And so he can communicate and he understands. He's very smart. That's the terrible part.
Yeah.
It's like he's just ridiculously smart.
Yeah, sure.
But this has been, you know, it's really squeezing him, you know, like this time, because like the mom and dad, you know, my brother and his lady, they have to constantly rally, and the boy is the boss in that situation. When he's nonverbal and they can't adequately like reprimand and know, you know, there's like this weird, it's that barrier of not being able to fully connect at times. And having more time at home with them has made things grow, certain things are good about it.
That's good. That's good to hear. There's some pluses there for sure, but wow, that is especially, you know, I can't begin to imagine, you know. We have our own circumstances to deal with, and you know, it's, you know, people that don't have to deal with that at all don't understand our situation. So likewise, I couldn't understand that situation because it's just so much more, you know, a whole nother set of circumstances to deal with.
Really interesting though. My brother's a DJ, and it has spun a lot of like dark dubstep for years. He used to play bass and we used to play together. He plays bass and stuff too, but he cut his hand a while back, and kind of his hand never healed up in the right way. So he kind of like, he still got basses. I still like encourage him to play, but he's like, you know, I use the DJ stuff to get my rocks off. And it's been difficult for him because he would spin every Friday night downtown here. And it was a great little dance, you know, group of people that would show up, and they would always have guests. And it was his one time out of the house, away from the family, away from the kid, away from all that stuff. And now, like, they've been trying to do the live stream at home, you know, and it's just obviously not the same. You know, it's like weird because you're not hearing or seeing people chat while you're trying to do your thing. And
interaction. Yeah.
But the flip side has been interesting, because for a long time now, his son, Henry, has been really, really, he's, like I said, he's super ridiculously sharp. And he watches his dad do all this stuff and connect stuff and turn the knobs. And now, so prior to him being able to use the computer and his DJ setup in the back room, in the front room, he has like an iPad, he's got a laptop, and some other tablet. I forget what the other tablet is, but he is always on YouTube. You come over and he's like, for a while, he's really into trains. So he has got a train, like a some sort of train thing going on one screen. And then he's got a different YouTube thing pulled up over here where it's train. It's like one thing is like a cartoon train. Then there's another thing that's like, like somebody explaining about the history of trains, and then over here there's like train warnings, you know, and he's got all three of them pulled up. He knows how to pull them up on there. He knows what buttons to type, so he kind of knows words, right? He knows what leads him to these places, and then he will constantly mix them together. So he's got one playing, and he's like spinning it back, so it plays the same thing over, and same statement or the same section, and he'll have them go over. And now his dad like gave him one of the smaller tablet records, and so he'll get two of them going and record what he's doing, you know. And so he's like doing this three-way thing. Wow. And so Adam's like, hey, come in the back, I'm gonna show you how the mixer works, you know. And
so
like,
cool.
So now he's got Serato Scratch, and he's got like a couple different programs and this big ass 4-channel mixer. And he's like, come back there, and he's like, oh, you want to mix, bud? And he's like, yeah. And so like he gets some music going on with a YouTube thing, and he goes for hours. And after a while, it may sound like chaos for a while, but then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, you hear that pattern he's got going right now? Yeah. Holy shit.
That really makes me happy. That's really cool, man.
Super cool. I just,
you know,
I love seeing
it. And that gives them something to, you know, like they tend to obsess, right? And so he's probably really into it, you know?
Really into it.
I think that's awesome.
Don't get in the way of his mixing sessions, bro. Like it's not okay.
And that's being creative. What, you know?
Yeah.
Let him go. That's awesome. That really makes me happy. That's cool, man. That's cool that he kind of stumbled into that.
Yeah, it's like of all the things, like it's cool that he kind of in a weird way is following in his dad's footsteps, and then they have that thing in common that he can go, oh well, no, well let me show here, just press this button right here, and he learns so quick when once he gets the effect that he wants, he's like, oh, I'm in. Yeah. It's so bad actually. He's so smart that they have to hide whenever they put a password in for like Amazon or any of that stuff, because he will instantly remember it and then be ordering movies, or he'll order stuff will show up at the door.
I've heard these types of stories before with kids like that, and they're just like it's like a photographic memory. You know, they see it once and that's it. And it's like, hey, you know, all of a sudden stuff starts showing up. You're like, what the fuck?
It's a Rain Man type thing. Like stuff drops on the floor and they're like 42. Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit, he knows that. Now you have to change the passwords again when he's asleep, you know, like so that he doesn't know. Yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. But it's cool that he's got something that he's kind of latched onto that isn't mind numbing. It's a creative outlet, you know, and it's an outlet, quite literally an outlet, not just figuratively. Yeah. So that's cool.
Same with your boy. That's like, you know, the fact that there's a thread, you know, that you guys can share too, that it has to do with music and maybe not, you know, the exact thing, but you know, it
helps me to help him, and in turn makes me start to feel a little bit better, and that there's, you know, hey, my son's enjoying himself. It makes you happy, you know. So that's good stuff.
Well, man, I want to jump in. I want to ask you about guitar picks, because that's
okay. Hold on 1 second.
Okay,
I gotta do something really important.
Yeah,
I'll be 30 seconds.
You got it, man. No worries.
It's not go to the bathroom.
Aw.
All right, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
All right, here I come.
Yes.
Sorry, it's getting thirsty.
Oh, I'm getting thirsty too.
I was getting a little thirsty there. I'm like, I got beer like 10 feet away from me in my little fridge. So I'm just going to scoop it.
Perfect.
Cheers.
Good for you. Cheers. I'll drink my water for now.
Okay, guitar picks.
Yeah, man. Tell me a little bit about what you remember from the earliest days. Like, was there somebody that encouraged you to play a certain kind of pick, or what was laying around when you first started playing? And what did you play through the years, and what are you playing now?
You know, I'm one of those guys that, you know, I remember when I first started, and I was a late starter. I didn't pick up a guitar until I was excuse me, I think 16.
Hmm.
And I got friendly with my local music store pretty quickly. And I think I was using, probably what everybody else uses. They were white and overly flexible, whatever, Fender 0.000 point -1, whatever they were.
Sure.
But I do remember I've been a lifelong Tortex guy, except for a brief period, because I saw them and I was attracted to the size. And where are they? So it's over here. That's
yeah.
You see it?
So 1.14
114
purples. Yeah.
Purples. So I think it was I started on the greens, but I liked the shape. And I'm not a schooled guitar player. I taught myself. I had AC/DC Power Age and that electric guitar when I got sent to private school, and nobody liked me at private school. So I sat in my dorm room and I learned how to play guitar to Power Age. That's how I learned how to play guitar. And I guess, so what I'm saying is I never had really any finesse. I've just always been a strong arm player, and that's worked for me over the years. These fit the bill perfectly at that time because they're robust and big. And here I am. When was that? 1981.
Oh my gosh.
And here we are, 2021. I'm holding the exact same guitar pick I held, when I was a lot younger. It's always been Tortex. Like I said, I started out on the greens, which are 88s, I think.
Yep.
And then I went to blue, and then I'm at purple. I think that's how it goes. Am I right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah.
And
and I've been a purple guy ever since. And I did, and during the strapping years, we were over at another company for a while. But I was so happy when you invited me back, because Dev, I think, had already gone back, and I picked up a couple Tortex, and I was just like, oh fuck, oh yeah. I remember this. It was so easy to go back, and you gave me those, and you gave me a bunch of these too.
Some
the
custom
Flex.
prints. Oh, the Flex.
I don't know if you can't read it. This doesn't have, anyway. They're the Flex picks, and I'm like, they're both great, but it was easy to go home with these ones.
Yeah.
That's what I still play.
Do you remember so was Dev already playing those triangles then?
Dev was playing, when strapping came to be, he might have been, or I mean, me and Byron always played them. I always played them. I don't know if anybody picked it up off of me or not. I couldn't say.
It's just interesting to think that all three of you were playing triangles.
All three of us, yeah, and all three of us still do, as far as I know.
Oh yeah, Dev's down to a 73 these days, though.
Is he? Okay, is he?
Yeah. At least he was.
I've got a few of his picks here. I do collect picks, and I still got a bunch of stuff in storage back home in Vancouver. Pretty large pick collection being part of it. I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, I like picks. But I've only ever used 2 or 3 different picks my entire playing life.
Wow.
And I started, and hopefully I'll finish with these. In my Canadian Imperial cheese container, which I have a whole bunch of them. And,
I love it.
They're full of picks.
I've got everybody's got to have a pick dish, man.
Yeah, man.
It's just the way it's what's up.
Yeah, well, that's right. Pick bowl. Help yourself.
Yeah. That's cool. What are some, do you remember some of your prized pick collection picks that you have back at home or back in your storage?
They're all important, but I'd say Ace Frehley, naturally.
How did you get that one? Did you get that from him or from a show or something?
From somebody who was working the show. And I got like a fucking handful of them. Rick Nielsen, I got shitloads of Rick Nielsen picks, like good ones. And cool. I've met him a few times. He's hero material right there.
Totally.
If I was upstairs right now, I'd show you I have a sweater of his from the 70s.
No way.
Yeah. And
how did that happen? Tell me about that. How do you have that?
we had mutual. This is going back into the 90s. We had mutual friends that lived in Rockford that were in another band, and one of those guys got a hold of this and knew I was a Cheap Trick fan and gave it to me. And then I heard that he had come across it sort of not in a good way. But it was the mid 90s and I had a Rick Nielsen shirt and I wore that thing all over the world, man. And I finally got a chance to meet him. I don't know if it was early 2000s or Cheap Trick was in Vancouver, and I like, this isn't mine, and I think the way I got it, it wasn't my fault, but I think, he got it in a bad way. And I'm not going to say because I don't know for sure.
Sure.
So I took it to the Cheap Trick show and I got to meet him and he showed me all his guitars and gave me the tour. And I'm like, dude, I got something of yours, which I think you should have back. And I don't know the story, but here it is. So I gave it to him. He takes it out of the back. First thing he does is check the tag. It's got a little number 2 on it. He holds it up. He goes, "You have it." And that's that's like the greatest rock moment of all time in my life. I still don't feel like I'm the right owner for it, but I've had it since 1994 or 5. So I've been taking good care of it.
That's so cool.
It's got, wow. Anyway, I don't know how I got onto that story. Oh yeah, guitar picks. I have lots. I know there's none that really stand out apart from Ace and Rick.
Well, what about
Metallica?
Did you get any of those from like being a young fan in the crowd?
No,
or was just
I wish that would have made some of them probably like more valuable on a personal level. But because of, what we do and our connections, you just like, here's, oh, hey, buddy, it's picks, and you just get them.
Yeah, that's cool too, though. That's way
cool. It is cool, but it's maybe not quite the same as like catching one out of midair and saying, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, that's pretty. That's also in its own right kind of rare, unless you're, fully up there in front doing the thing a lot.
Or unless you're at a Cheap Trick concert, because Rick can just like boom, and those things are gone. He's an amazing pick thrower.
Dude,
pick flicker.
Yngwie Malmsteen too, man. Jesus, if you ever seen that guy play, he usually has. Yeah, he's a polarizing personality.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but what I had to deal with, making some of his picks there for a while, and they're like, man, he gives them out, so he just will like. He'll kick them out. He'll like flick them and kick them and, do the whole thing. And so it's kind of like a strange scenario. But it seems like everybody's got an Yngwie Malmsteen pick. Is that a kitty back there?
You can't see it. Just on a quick side note, our quarantine project in last March, just when everything got started, this black cat started appearing in our backyard.
Oh.
And we had 2 cats and we're cat lovers, and we're like, all right, well, she's plump, looks okay, well, give her some water. Next day she was back again. All right, well, give her a bit of food. And then like 5 days later, I'm like, this cat's not going anywhere. And I was living under our deck, so we took some blankets outside and made like a tent around the barbecue for her, the grill, whatever you guys call them down here. And then we took pictures and we made up posters, went around the neighborhood, and nobody ever called. So we're like, well, I guess we'll take her in. So we took her to the vet, and she's fine, but she's pregnant. So my wife's, well, I'll take care of this. She's a cat lover beyond. And so, long story short, she had her babies at my wife's feet underneath her work desk.
Wow.
I guess in May or June. 7 kittens. 3 of them didn't make it, and that was kind of sad. But 2 of them, we raised them until they were weaned, and then 2 of them we gave to a good friend of ours, and the plan was to give the rest of them away, and it didn't work out. We have 5 cats now. That's the end of the story.
And now we're cat people for real.
Yeah, we're cat people. That was one of the kittens. They like to come down here and vociferate wildly. We're completely and utterly bonded with all three of these extra cats we have now, and so we're one big. Really good at scooping cat litter.
Oh man, I don't envy the cat box.
Yeah, it's all right. You know, it's like I said, we did a good thing. We rescued a kitty and gave new kitties a home and all that. I don't know what the hell we were talking. It was Ingve.
From Ingve to kitty litter. I mean, it's all in the same wheelhouse. It's all good. No, dude, I had my last cat. I had him for 18 years, and towards the end, it was rough because he was,
it's rough.
End of life can be tough for any being, but cats that rely on a box, then they just like start missing the box, and then they just start doing it wherever, and then they just and they don't let you sleep, and because they're crying, because they're in pain, and there's not much you can do for.
It's hard, man. That's hard.
It's a strange thing. So, but my kitty, I mean, he was my best bud for 18 years, so it's hard. It's hard to be upset about any of it because he got me through a lot of stuff. And,
it's amazing. You know, there's comfort in those little furry buddies. You know. You know.
Well, I'm curious. I'm going to ask you about what you've been listening. You told me about Pearson is like one of your favorite bands, and that you've been listening to them pretty regularly. But I'm curious about what else you might have been able to check out in the last year or so, and is there anything that has come out that you're like, nah, man, I can't stop listening to this. This is super good. Or
well, you know, I'm really, oh God, I'm not sure what the words are, but I'm not really into new music a whole lot. I'm like that old white rocker that likes 70s AC/DC and Nazareth and Cheap Trick and AC/DC and also AC/DC.
Nothing wrong with that.
So the new AC/DC record is awesome, by the way.
Hell yeah.
It made me really happy. My wife bought me the big box set with the electric sign on the front and everything. It's really cool. I'm a huge Tom Petty fan, and they just did a re-release of Wildflowers, which is my favorite album of all time over any other album. And so with all the extra songs, outtakes, and booklet, and it's a fantastic collection.
Oh, I didn't see that. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know it. I opened it up and I'm like, oh my God. You know,
that's one of my favorite records of all time as well.
It is my number one favorite record of all time. Hands down, no contest.
Wow. That's
Desert Island, man. That's the one.
I love that about you. I thank you for being that guy that would say that, because that resonates deeply with me.
Yeah. I love him so much, and to lose him and Malcolm Young in the same year was just tragic.
Bro, I cried. I was like,
I did.
I saw Tom at what was it called? Bottle Rock. They did a Bottle Rock thing here in Napa. It was close to. It's probably 6-7 months before he passed. I don't even know. And a friend of mine was like looking, and we had side stage like access and stuff. It was super cool. But so a friend of mine was going, hey, you know, is there something wrong with Tom? It was like he doesn't look quite right. And I go, oh, I don't know. He's just getting old, man. People get old. Like I couldn't. I don't know if I was resistant to seeing it or if he just, whatever. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if he's going to be around much longer. I was like, bro, shut your mouth. I was like, shut your fucking trap, bro.
I don't watch the show.
Yeah, and like I'm trying to watch the show, and we'd already lost all these other people, in recent years, and I was just like, dude, I can't imagine a world just yet without Tom Petty. Yeah. Please shut the hell up.
And then it happened.
Yeah,
that's really sad. Yeah, man, that his music has done more for me over the years than really anything else. I've been a Petty fan for a long, long time. I got to see him a bunch of times too, and it was really sad. The last time I saw him was here in Philly, and they played a lot of my favorite songs and stuff. But the crowd, it was like a college boy frat party, and it was really distressing because people were, yelling and drinking, and I'm like, sit down and listen to the fucking songs. Like that's my. I'm trying to listen to my hero here, and it was just this constant disruption. And I'm like, so it was a really bad experience for me. I came away from that like, fuck.
That sucks.
Yeah, anyway, so those are the two things, not, the petty one is not new, but there's lots of new stuff to listen to on it. And as far as other new music, I mean, like I said, I just listen to old stuff because that's what does it for me. When I want to get aggressive, I put on Slayer's Hell Awaits, or Creator, or Morbid Angel, or Deicide, or Christian. I want to get softer, I put on Tom Petty, or Heart, maybe Tom Petty. I'm just, I love my 70s hard rock. I love my 80s speed and death metal, 90s death metal. And beyond that, I really don't give a fuck.
That's great.
And it sounds closed-minded, and I'm sure it probably is in some ways. And I'm getting old and crotchety, and I sound like my dad or my parents. How can you listen to that shit, that newfangled the stuff I listened to when I was a kid? No, that was music. That's what I think I sound like. But fuck off.
No, my dad's that way too. I mean, he's pretty open, but
Yeah,
and I'm getting there too. I mean, I think my job actually, my disposition kind of demands me to be fairly open and fairly widespread.
Yeah.
But I'm finding the limits of that. I'm finding the limits of that with each new little fad that pops up, and I'm like, oh God, are we doing this now? Oh, I'm like, you're making me feel old. My bones ache just listening to your new thing that doesn't have the melody or substance that I'm looking for,
Yeah. I'll hard pass on most of that.
Yeah, most of it. Yeah. Well, that's good though. I mean, it's good to know what you want, know what you like. I don't think it's important to be super up to date on everything because so like me and my buddy Drew were talking earlier, like it's like they keep coming out with new fractal axe effects, right? But like they kind of figured it out in the first couple. I'm glad that there's more and it's bigger and there's more. They're finding new ways to combine all these different ways of expressing yourself with the guitar and your effects, but really it's just a remix, man. And it's like the first version probably worked fine, and what's more important than having newfangled gear is writing good music and actually doing something with it, right? Like finding a way to express yourself. So man, I mean, I had the 2, whatever it was, 2XL or Sure.
X, I don't know. I had it for about 3 years. I got deep into it, and then I couldn't get it out the door fast enough. I'm like, I don't like this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't like this stuff. I like burning glass.
Yeah.
And that's the old guy in me again. I like burning glass or death. I got all the plugins, and there's some really fantastic stuff out there. Particularly from Neural, Soft Tube. I mean, they make killer stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I got it all. And by the time I start trying to apply it to a real serious situation, I'm like, give me a 57. I'm going to stick it in that speaker over there, and I'm going to make glass burn and melt and chang, there it is,
Yeah. No, I love my VHT Pitbull. It's sitting on the other side over here. It's my main amp. I love KT88s. I love the stiff bottom. I love the Fort and stuff. I really, really fell in love with that Omega stuff.
Oh, that gratifier amp that's on my to-do list as one I really, really want.
Exactly. That's on the list. Omega Mike is making some really cool stuff.
Yeah. I'm interested in their cabinetry as well.
He left a 112 with me that sounds amazing.
That's killer. That's killer.
Yeah. But that being said, I like the fractal stuff too. I'm a little bit of both. But
I was just gonna say, I've got a Fortin head. He's my all-time favorite amp maker of all time, and he built me a custom ground up. I gave him a 100-watt JCM 800. And had some idea what he wanted to do. And he goes, by the end of it, he'd stripped it completely down to the transformers and just rebuilt me a brand new amp from it.
Jesus.
And it's great. I'm getting all tangled up in my cables here. Come on. Try that. There it is.
Oh,
Can't really see it, but it's a beast, man. It's
glorious, man.
It's got all the bells and whistles, and useful bells and whistles. And it's just got that Yeah, it's just beautiful. My favorite thing. I'm a big Mike Fortin fan, and pleasure to call him friend.
Yeah, he's amazing designer, great dude.
Yeah.
And man, the fact that he's I mean, he made the Meshuggah amp too, right? Like so, and did that 33 pedal and
I've got the full where is the camera there? I've got the Fortin pedal thing going on. Got the split and the grind and the Zool noise gate, which is just there's nothing better on earth, man. Nothing.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so hats off to that.
That's badass, Jed. Dude, well, I'm glad to know that you're an analog man in a digital world these days, because somebody's got to hold it down.
Yeah, it's something I quite enjoy. I don't mind fighting the digital battle, as it were.
Yeah, man. And you know, when you I mean, you ever are you still just digital to Pro Tools? Do you do any like stuff to tape, or do you, when you record the band, do you do like drums to tape or anything like that? Or
well, when we're doing albums and stuff, like we always do at least drums to tape, and then we'll dump that into Pro Tools and then do the rest, you know.
Sure.
Analog in and straight to Pro Tools, you know.
It's one of the last few classic moves you can make these days. You know, you're like, we're in a real studio. Like, let's use that tape machine.
Absolutely. You know, I remember back in the day, it was like, you know, it was so intimidating because first you're in a studio and it costs so much money, and then you have to pay for tape. You know, and those costs were so inhibitive back then. And now I'd be like, oh, man, what do I have to sell to buy tape? You know, like.
Yeah, let's get rid of something. I don't need all this shit. Let's do it.
Yeah. I'm a big tape fan for sure. And if I could have a tape machine, I would.
Hey man, somebody out there has a tape machine that they don't want.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, send it to Jed right now. Call him up. Send Jed his tape machine.
Yeah, give me that Studer. But it's funny. I've been having some technical problems here just because I've got some preamps and compressors and stuff, and just integrating analog into the digital world. I've had some trouble with meter calibration and that kind of shit. And I got so frustrated recently that I'm like, I just want my old Fostex 8-track cassette recorder back. And I knew what to do with that thing, and all this shit is pissing me off, you know.
Dude, speaking of that, I actually ordered this off of, let's see if I can get it here. It's an old Tascam. I found this on Reverb.
Oh, look at you. Yeah.
The little Porta Studio, man. Like,
hold on one sec.
You gonna trade me?
Reach up into my closet here. Sorry.
Oh yeah, baby. That's the OGs right there. Man,
oh my
God. My whole recording, everything started on one of these things. Actually, it was more like the one that you have there. I had Fostex, and
I had my very first multi-track recorder was a Fostex 4-track, but it was really big, and it had like a meter bridge on it. There's four analog meters. It was really fucking big, and I kind of wish I still had that. But graduated up through the like 8-track cassettes, and then Devin gave me his. This is before I think strapping was going, or just right when it was happening. He gave me his old Atari ST-1040 with Cubase on it.
Whoa!
And that was how I got into computer recording. Another Devin gift, you know.
Yep.
And I just took off with it from there. I wish I still had that computer. That was a lot of fun, you know. But it was new, and I was like, oh my God, this is so much fun.
I remember when Atari was into the personal computer thing for a minute.
Yeah.
That was a hot second. Yeah, man, I bought this because I came across a big box of my old 4-track recordings. I'm like, I have to go through. I know they're not good. I know it's not. But
you want to check them out.
But I want to hear them again, and I want to just kind of go down memory lane. So I got this thing, and I started putting the tapes in, and I'm like, shit. And everything's pitched up too far, and I can't pitch it down far enough.
I've had the same problem because I have a couple Tupperware bins full of 8-track and 4-track, you know, cassette things from over the years, and I want to do the same thing too, and that's why I got that. It doesn't work that way.
Well, I think what it is that the Fostex or the Fostex, because I originally recorded on Tascam, I think. And these Fostechs, actually, as good as they are, if you would just record into them, I went and I did a bunch of deep diving, and I researched, and I realized, a bunch of people, these things, the tape speed is just set higher, and you can't get it down low enough. So what you can do is just run them into Logic or Pro Tools, and then pitch it, and then slow them down.
Pitch it there.
Pitch it down from there.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, he's like, otherwise I'm gonna sell this one and go try to find the Tascam that I recorded on all those ages ago, to just sit here and mess around with it again.
Yeah.
So
I want to dig into that box of cassettes and just see, because I mean, I've been recording riffs since I got my very first portable tape deck, and I have tubs and tubs and tubs of cassettes. Whenever I'm writing, I hit the vaults. I don't rely on just coming up with something new all the time. Most everything I've written comes from the vaults, and I'll go through the vaults to look for riffs and stuff like that. But the same applies to those multi-track cassettes. I'm like, there might be stuff on there that I might think is cool that I could still work with. So I want to revisit that. I even have an old right there. You can't really see it. It's an old cassette deck I keep right on my desktop, because I can just reach into a tub, grab cassette, and just run it into my mixer, and I can just check out riffs. And it's funny to listen to my 20-year-old self going, "Hey, I'm going to do this riff. And it's going to be,
Me too.
For every 10 minutes of crap, there's usually a gem in there somewhere. And 20, 30 years later, some of them are like, oh, I can do something with this, and it comes out great. So record everything.
That's where I'm at. Like I 20 plus years ago, I was here in Chico just learning how to record on that Fortec, Tascam or whatever, and just recording everything. I was just like, I was so enamored with the concept of just like being able to put sounds into this thing and try to line them up, and made just ridiculous songs. Just like me and my buddy just trying to make ridiculously, because we were big fans of
probably
Mr.
a lot of
Bungle,
fun.
and you're like, if Mr. Bungle can do 1,000 riffs in a song, we can do 10. Come on, let's go. And so we just made a bunch of wacky stuff. Made songs about our cats, stinky caca kitties songs.
Speaking my language here. Yeah.
Songs about hot dogs and soda. I mean, I don't know. We did anything and everything that we were like, you know what? I'm really stoned right now. Hot dogs and soda. Let's go right now. We made a song.
Start playing. Let's go.
Yeah. It's what happens.
It's sometimes, and sometimes good things come from that, and even if not, you still want to go back and listen to that fun stuff and relive those moments, because you can.
Yeah. Well, the thing I think maybe is the most pleasurable for me is remembering the sheer joy of play, of literal, reckless abandon. Nobody needs to hear any of this. It's just me and my buddy, or me by myself, or whatever, and we're just having fun. There's no, I'm not trying to make this to make you go, wow, dude, great riff. I'm not making it to make somebody think I'm a great composer or musician. I'm just fucking putting shit on tape, man, just because I can.
Just having fun over here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because
so
it's just therapeutic.
That's the magic, and the magic has waned, and that's don't let that magic go, because I think once it's gone, it's really, really hard to get back. I think magic is super important. I'm using that term loosely, but
sure,
you'll know what I mean if you know what I mean, right? Just do it. Have fun. Fuck.
Yeah. There's not a lot of time, and when you think you have a lot of time, bro, you're like, you're gonna be all of a sudden show up and you're like, there's not a lot of time.
And all the cliches are true, man. It's like the fucking years are just fucking compounding themselves as we go. I'm like, fuck, how old am I now? I got a 14-year-old. What the fuck,
Yeah.
Yesterday I had no gray and I was chugging, I'm like, I'm all gray and I got to go make pizza in a couple minutes here. And I was like, what? How? I
Yeah, it's totally that move.
Yeah. And I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining,
Same.
Because there's, the trade-off is happy, content. There's things to deal with.
Yeah.
Right. But, man, life is a good thing.
Yeah. And you got your crew and you guys are supporting each other. So that's important too,
Yeah, it is super important. Get help.
Get help. Yes. Dude, Jed, thank you so much for taking the time, man. I'm going to wrap it up here because I got a few other things I got to jump into today too. But
Let me look at the time here. I wait. That's why I had to change glasses, guys. I was wearing my reading glasses. Oh yeah, it's almost 5. It's fucking dinner time here. Like I said, making pizza.
Yeah, Mr. Mom, you got to get to it, bro.
Yeah, I'm getting my new glasses in a couple of weeks. Or I had to get a new prescription. I broke my last pair, and I had bifocals, my last pair of glasses, and I hated them. So I had them taken out because it fucked with my peripheral. But anyways, I'm getting new glasses, and so I'm going back to bifocals. We'll see what happens. Good times.
I'm due for glasses myself, man. Things are getting fuzzy.
It wasn't until I turned 50. But wow. it was like somebody just flicked the switch. I was fine, and then I started gaining weight, and I had to get glasses. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. It's been this last year that I've really come to terms. I mean, it's not been a full light switch, but I'm like, why can't I read that? So and then I'm doing this thing all the time with small print.
Oh, dude.
And so I got the readers now, and so like around the house, I'm always like popping the readers on so that I can.
These are my readers for reading. When I'm at the computer, like these are my glasses for hello. When I'm at the computer, I got to double up.
Whoa, for real?
Yeah.
Wow. What a
now
trip.
You know.
Now the world knows.
Fuck. All right, buddy. It was a pleasure.
Likewise, man. I love you, dude. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but I love you too, man. It's been a pleasure to know you for all these years.
Same. You all reach out anytime, man. Let's hang out anytime off the recording record, you know?
Sure. Sounds like a plan, bud.
Have a great day, man. Give my best to the family.
Okay. Take care.
Talk to you soon, Jed.
Okay. Ciao, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Players Pick Podcast, Picks and Perspective with Chris Johnson.